Hi guys, what's up? And I'm back with another video. I know it's a delayed one. The last month was a hectic one for me, but nevertheless, I'm back and I've been reading a lot of Junji Ito books. And yeah, this past month was filled with his books, and today I'll be reviewing some of his books which I have read, and I'll be starting with the least favorite ones and go from there. Okay, so the first one, which I unfortunately didn't like that much, was The Censor. Okay, so this book is about a woman who was one day roaming in, I can't recall the name of the mountain, but she was roaming around or maybe trekking on a mountain, and a strange man, I think, called her to his own village, and when she goes there, and I think she was surprised that the whole mountain was covered with some golden hair, I think, which was, they are called volcanic hairs and something like that. And honestly, the story didn't stick with me from the first page. In my opinion, the whole book is a single story, and yeah, the story felt disjointed to me, and again, but yeah, didn't stick with me. But the art, as usual, Junji Ito books are great. The artwork is great, and nothing wrong there. But yeah, the story felt disjointed to me, and the story was also not, smooth flowing. I didn't really care about the character. I was not able to fully grasp what was going around in this village. On to the next one, Fragments of Horror. This one was better than the Liminal Zone one and the Censor one, and almost all of his stories revolve around supernatural and body horror stuff. Also, the stories which I liked in this book was Tomio, Red Turtleneck, Gentle Goodbye, Blackbird, and The Whispering Woman. I mean, these stories have a little more, meat to chew on as compared to the Liminal Zone one and the Censor one. Yeah, so that's why I enjoyed this one, gave it a 3-star. And again, I mean, at this point, I think I don't have to say that the artwork in his books are always fantastic. It's top notch. So yeah, that comes with Junji Ito work. So yeah, gave it a 3-star. This was a good one. Okay, so I had another one which was also a 3-star, and this was called Love Sickness. I mean, first of all, the cover. I mean, mostly all of his book covers are very attractive, and look at this one, which is beautiful. Okay, so what I have wrote down about this one. Okay, so I think this one had around This one has 5 stories, and the first story was the name of the book, Love Sickness. And to be honest, the starting of this book it got me pretty hooked from the first page actually. But after some time, after reading, after getting a couple of chapters in, the story starts to get monotonous for me. I mean, and also the ending could have been better. Also, some of the aspects of the stories were not explained, which is quite common with Junji Ito story collections. That's not a surprise. And also the Love Sickness one obviously it's a bigger story as compared to the other ones. The second big story was The Strange Hirizuri Siblings. And also I think I enjoyed this one a lot more than Love Sickness, because I love Sion stories, and I just only wished one thing in this story, that we could have gotten a past story of this house and the past story of this family. but I think it's obvious that it could have been any good. So yeah, so I enjoyed the strange Hirizuri siblings more than the love sickness one. The love sickness one was, I think, a social is commenting on our society nowadays, that everyone is following someone to an extreme level, and they don't care about, they just follow what the person is saying and they just follow him or her. So yeah, but the strange Hirizuri siblings, I found out that it was a more complete story, everything was explained. Again, it's a supernatural one, but yeah, I found the strange Hirizuri siblings better than the love sickness. And also I like this one as well, and I have jotted down notes regarding this one. I wrote down that it shows the grief and suffering of this family and how contagious and great impact it had on the house. And also, again, I was not able to fully understand the story, but I think I got the gist of it. So yeah, again, that comes as a package with, I think, Junji Ito books, is that you're not gonna get everything explained with his stories, and and that's the thing which makes his story a lot better sometimes. And it can be a hit or miss sometimes, but most of the times I think the ambiguous ending, or not fully explaining every aspect of the story, he pulls them off pretty good most of the time. So yeah, I like this story as well, The Mansion of Phantom Pain. And the next one was The Rib Woman, and this one was also good, and I also enjoyed the art one on this one. The story was decent. Yeah, The Rib Woman, as you can see from the title, that it has to do with ribs, and The Rib Woman was a decent story, but I enjoyed the artwork more than the story. And the last one was The Memories of Real Poop, and yeah, this one was a strange one. First of all, I didn't get why this story was the last in this book, but yeah, but after searching on the internet, I found out, and I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think the kid that was demonstrated in the last story was Junji Ito himself when he was a child. So I think that the last story was a fun one, a prank that he did in his childhood. And yeah, it was a strange one, but yeah, the prank was pretty good, I would say, to his neighbor. But yeah, overall this book was also good. I gave it 3 stars. And yeah, from this point, I think from Fragments of Horror and from Love Sickness one, I think his stories are getting good. I gave 3 stars to these 2 books, and I think the last 2 books which I have read, I gave both of these books 4 stars. Okay, first of all, let me start with this one. This one is called Venus in the Blind Spot. Again, look at the cover, man. Beautiful. Okay, so this one is also a story collection by Junji Ito, and this one has around how many? This one has 10 stories. This one was a good one. I gave this one a 4 star, and let me bring up what I wrote about this one. Okay, so the standout story for me in this one was, hands down, has to be the human chair. I know it's not the story from Junji Ito, but man, the human chair alone as a concept is quite terrifying. Yeah, it's a fascinating one, and this was my favorite story from this book. I think this one was the best one in this book, hands down. The Billions Alone one was also very, fascinating story. Again, in Billions Alone, the story was not fully explained, but like I previously said, not sometimes, but most of the times, when he's not telling or explaining everything, is when the story can be more terrifying, in my opinion. And this is a great example where the Billions Alone story was not fully explained, and it was, intriguing, and again, at the same time, it's terrifying. So yeah, Billions Alone was good. The Human Chair was my favorite, and let me tell you what, after reading the Human Chair one, this one stayed in my mind longer than any other story. And again, the artwork is nothing to say. It was just fantastic. And again, with short story collection, you're bound to have some good ones and some bad ones. But overall, I, enjoyed this one. This one was, I gave this one a 4-star. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Let me tell you which stories I like more. Billions Alone, again, like I said, it was a fascinating story. Human Chair was my favorite one. Venus in the Blind Spot, the ending of that one was sad and crazy. The Licking Woman, again, supernatural one. It's more like, I think, alien type horror, I would say. But yeah, definitely a body horror story, or you can call it a supernatural one. How Love Came to Professor Kirida. This one, the original story was from Robert Hickens. This one was also pretty good, supernatural stuff again. The Enigma of Amigara Fault. This one was also pretty good. It was also, the story was quite fascinating. The human shapes, gaps which were created in between the mountains. That was quite terrifying idea, actually. So the story was, the concept of this one was pretty good. And the Keepsake, the last one, was pretty messed up too. Yeah. So overall, I liked most of the stories in here, and yeah, it's a pretty good collection. So definitely read this one if you get a chance. This one was great. The last one which I'm gonna talk about is called The Tomes, and this is also a short story collection. And again, this one doesn't have a cover, the dust jacket, whatever you're gonna call it. And this one is hardbound, and yeah, this one was also pretty good. Gave it 4 stars. With the short story collection, you're bound to have some good and bad stories, but I think in this collection, the good ones overpower the bad ones, I would say. So yeah, so this one I think has 9 stories, and let me tell you which ones I like the most. Okay, so the first one which I like the most is, again, in this one I think it's the creepiest one, and this one is called The Window Next Door. And let me tell you what, after finishing this one, I'm still getting chills in the back of my head. I don't know why, but this one was the creepiest one, and it gave me chills throughout my body. yeah, this one was pretty good. Again, the ending was, ambiguous ending, and you're not gonna get everything explained. So yeah, this one was the best one in my opinion. And the next one, which I also liked, is the floaters. This is a pretty good concept, I must say. A fascinating concept where, there, in this town, maybe you can call it a town or a city, I can't recall, but city where hair like pollen, I don't know what you're gonna call it, but these hair like structures which are, floating in the air, and whenever you touch it, I think they start to speak. I'm not gonna tell you anything more than that, but this one was a pretty fascinating one. Also, the tombs and the clubhouse one was also good. Not that great, but it was also pretty good. Also, the last one, The Bloody Story of Shirasuna. This was a great one in my opinion. I think it's about a guy, it's about a doctor who goes to a village where, people, all the villagers have, I think, anemia, and they have this condition where they lose a lot of blood. So yeah, and the story progresses from there. It's a pretty good one. The last one which I liked in this one is Washed Ashore, and this one is about a worm-like creature which was, washed ashore, and this one is about, it mainly focuses on, how ocean can be quite scary and fascinating at the same time. I'm not gonna tell you anything about the story. You have to read it on your own. And yeah, that's the whole stories that I liked in this one. Let me check again. The Slug Girl was, a sad one. Yeah, it was again, supernatural one. The Strange Tale of the Tower was, found it was a decent one. The Bronze Statue was, again, it was a simple story, also a decent one. Yeah, so yeah, the good news is that I like most of the stories in this one, and yeah, that's all you can ask for, so yeah, these two books are quite light, and yeah, if you have the time to check these out, definitely check these two if you are into, short story collection. And I know these are expensive, but it's up to you if you can, get these, and it was a good one, and gave both these 4 stars. So yeah, that's all that I read in previous month. I know it's not that lot of reading, but yeah, it was a pretty hectic one. So yeah, I'll be back with another video. I'll be sharing new books that I got, and yeah, that's all from this video. I'll see you in the next one, and till then, like the video, subscribe as usual. I'll be bringing more videos hopefully soon, so yeah, see ya.